Hey guys, Kirkaiser here, back to the update for PSO2 New Genesis. This week, just like last, actually added quite a bit to the game. Starting off, we have the seasonal event for Halloween that just started. This adds different decor around the different cities, as well as these different rappies here. But more importantly is Giemi, the Navigator, which gives you a quest line for the seasonal event and has a seasonal shop to spend points that you get from those quests, as well as killing other seasonal enemies. For her shop, there's actually quite offering in here. As usual, there is special scratch tickets for this certain seasonal event, different build parts, different accessories and stamps and motions that will get added more to later in like a couple weeks. Then star gems, other regular special scratch tickets, but then a new weapon series. So this is just like Alsync from the previous seasonal event. It just has a little bit more attack. So for this, it has a potential level 6 automatically, plus 60 automatically, but it can go to 70, so it's already limit broken. And then it has decent augs as well. And it has a seasonal aug, which is only applicable to the Halloween event, but it is a massive buff against seasonal enemies here. Plus 20% potency, plus 35% critical hit rate, and plus 30% damage resistance. That's pretty huge. And then just like the seasonal thing from before, this is a all-arounder potential. It just gives more damage, critical hit rate, and damage resistance, but it's not just tied to the seasonal event. It can be used afterwards. With all these upgrades just in it automatically, it's pretty much a no-brainer for new and returning players to pick this up, maybe even those that are even at endgame right now, because you can equip it at level 40, so it will carry you through the game and will even help you with endgame content. Just make sure to level it up, get it to plus 70, to get the extra augment slot, and maybe change a few augments here if you get something better. There's also armors in here, just like the previous seasonal event, where it has the plus 60 limit broken to 70, and all of these different augments inside. You want to grab these at certain level points, so if you're at the beginning of the game, this quality armor is level 10, this Sustato is level 42, and this last one with Ajax is level 70. So you want to pick those up as you're going through, or if you're already at level 70, then just pick this up. For this, it's a little bit better with the augments than last seasonal event, so you definitely want to replace if you haven't really touched the previous ones. Kind of the same with the Brawnaga here, where it has slightly better augments like the 222 instead of the Ale Domina, which was pretty much like half the potency. For the rest of this here, we have minerals, which help with limit breaking and potentials and whatnot. We have Defi Phase 3 capsules, which are new because of the new Phase 3 Duel Quest. Just keep in mind, with these augments, do not replace your main gear with these. It looks very nice with the potency plus 7% for all these and some other like sub effect, but it only applies to this specific quest and nothing else within the game. But if you plan on doing that, which we'll talk about later, then you can pick these up in here. And there's a whole bunch of other augments that you can grab, like Aegis 4s, Stat 4s, Soul 4s, Dread 4s, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then there's Prim 2s for enhancement, Alpha Reactors for just raw Maceta, and then other little bonuses down below. There's additional tasks for this event that help you get those seasonal points and additional rewards, as dailies here for just killing seasonal enemies, and then weeklies, which help with getting more seasonal points by doing specific things, like upgrading the Brawnaga, killing Starless, etc. And then for the limited time, they have a quest line with the Giemi here that teaches you about limit breaking, which is a weird thing to put in a limited content thing, but that exists. So maybe if you don't know how to do limit breaking, there is that. But you also get additional seasonal points by participating. With this, it says that you can get the requirements here, the Strugments from the Emperor Rappies that they just added, as well as enemies in combat sectors rank 2 or higher. This is an error. It's supposed to be rank 3 or higher, as they stated on the website in some other article. But these can also be purchased from the personal shops as well if you just want to speed through it. There's additional tasks here, but some of the more important ones is this right here, which gives a Master Cube. So this is by completing 150 daily tasks through this event. This Master Cube is used for generating add-on skill level 20 guarantees. So you definitely want this and try to stack it up to get the 5 required to do that per class. And there's also another one at the bottom here that gives you a Master Cube, but this requires you to get 1,000,000 seasonal points during this event. It looks like a big number, but it's actually not too hard if you just farm the combat zones with seasonal enemies in them, or wait until the LTQs that pop up, with one being next week, that you can just farm over and over again. Speaking of the Master Cubes, they actually added a couple titles as well that give them, like killing 30,000 enemies in the high rank sector, rank 5 or higher of Maqead Lower Level, which that is the new rank that got added today, and that gives you one. But there's also the Duel Quest Phase 3, If you complete it with 5 different classes, you'll get one as well. I imagine this one will be a little bit more difficult than the last one, but you have the options there. Moving on to the next thing with the Halloween event, we have this special scratch where you can get the tickets from that seasonal shop, and then among other content. And then with this, it has a whole bunch of different cosmetic items, like these weapon camos for the Rugged Almighty color variants, which are a much better way of doing it than the relic that we had from before. But you can get 3 different versions of those with different weapon types, and then 3 weapons from base game as camos, and then a whole bunch of items that were actually part of previous mission passes. So you may have some of these items, but if you missed out, you can grab them now. And there's some new items sprinkled in, like this Savage Crown that you can have. But the last part of the Halloween event that we have for right now is a new limited time urgent quest called Haunted Domain. So this can show up every few hours or so in the Retem region. And then for this, you're always using a mobile cannon. It's permanently attached to you for this quest. It's kind of interesting because they added a new mechanic to it as well that lets you use elemental bullets. So certain enemies in the quest itself have these like shields essentially, where they use specific elemental bullets to match the color, so like fire to the red enemies or ice to the blue ones, and then once you destroy the shield, you can actually damage them without the elemental bullets. They also added a new gauge ability for the mobile cannon, which when you press that, you shoot way faster for a certain duration. Once Urgent Quest spawns, which appears right around here next to Maqead, you'll need a 34-13 battle power to enter or near the end game right now, like level 75. And for the rewards, it actually is quite a bit. You get 30,000 seasonal points every time you run it. And then for the first time that you do, you get 10 of those special scratch tickets for the Halloween scratch. And then you have the opportunity to get Tasa weapons, the Octo Armor variants, Arga, Belta, and Sheza, Photon Chunk 2s, Arms Refiner 1 and 2s, the Deathy Phase 3 capsules, which are guaranteed every time. I got like about 4 the time I ran it. And then also have a chance of getting additional Halloween special scratch tickets. For this, I wouldn't really count on getting the Octo Armors or Tasas, but it is nice to get the Photon Chunks and the Arms Refiners and the Phase 3s basically every time. So I would definitely do this once it appears. And honestly, it isn't just about the rewards. I think this is a fun quest in of itself, probably because it's just so different from everything that we've had in the past. Also for this quest though, it's going to be the only urgent quest that shows up in the Retem region for the next couple of weeks, as they state right here. So if you're expecting to try to get a mining rig, you're not going to be able to do so. You can only use trigger versions of that for the next couple of weeks, but it will kick back in where it's going to interchange between probably Haunted Domain and mining rig after October is over. That's essentially everything that we have for the Halloween event right now, but more will be added in the following weeks. For the next thing, we have the Duel Quest Phase 3 that we've been talking about. So this has a new starless boss called Zelvin, which is a aquatic starless thing next to the West Alio coast. And then for this, it's going to be quite difficult, especially if you don't have the Deathy augments that we saw for Phase 3. I imagine that you could probably do it without the Phase 3 capsules, but it is level 80, so you're going to want to go to the new cap and probably have near best in slot if you don't want to do it with Deathies. Before this, I imagine if you do have the Deathies, it will be easy. I haven't tried it out myself yet, because I haven't acquired them. Maybe just go to the quest counter and go to Duel Quest, and then on the bottom here, there is that Phase 3. For this, you'll get a new Fuchsia if you can complete it. It's the same as the previous Duel Quest, where if you get an S rank, you get 3. If you get an A rank, you get 2. If you get just a clear, you get 1. There really isn't anything else for this Duel Quest for rewards besides getting the first time with the 100 star gems here and some other titles that you can complete. But with that Fuchsia, you use it to combine it with Dread 5 that we just got with last week's updates with the new Dread enemies, and combine it to make a Grand Dread Keeper. This will take 10 of those Dread Keeper 5s and 10 of the Fuchsias from the Duel Quest Phase 3. And this makes a combination capsule that actually has less substats than the Dread 5. This has 15 HP, 3 photon power, 5% potency floor, and 1% damage resistance. But what it adds here is actual normal potency of 2.5%. So if we take a look at Dread 5, this has 60 HP, 12 photon power, 8% potency floor, and 3.5% damage resistance. This is a much tankier capsule and much better for like those stats. But because of this potency, it makes this an actual damage capsule with additional benefits. So this is probably what you would use to replace like Triple 2 or Mastery, as long as you're not using a Verschmel's weapon. Because if you're using a Verschmel's weapon, you're getting no benefit from this potency floor here. It's actually a little bit less potency than what you would get with other capsules out there. If you're using any other weapon though, like Dasan, Neosastrian, whatever, this will be a best in slot augment for you right now. Especially to replace, like I said, the Triple 2 or Mastery. But I don't think it would replace anything like Gladius, Soul, Hal Finale, things that have like 3.5% potency or higher, but anything that has like 3% potency or 2.5% potency and other stats, this will be better for your DPS. If you are a Slayer main though, this might not benefit you as much because of how much crit rate you're getting over other classes, especially if you have like a weapon potential with crit rate on it, and then like the add-on skills with crit rate. So it's gonna be real iffy here in terms of that, but we'll have to double check that some other day when I look at best in slot once again. Moving on to the next thing, we have a new rank added to the Maqead Lower Level Combat Sector, which is rank 5 and it's level 80. For this, there is starless enemies inside and the warp saucers, which make Maqead Lower much better than before because it was a pain to get around. For this, though, it's pretty much similar rewards from the high rank Alio sectors we got a couple months back. But the difference is there's Ret Sovereigns in there, kind of like how you can get Ret Sovereigns from the Mining Rig rank 3, which helps you craft high Ret Dominos. There also is the chance that the Tasa weapons, just like the Alio combat sectors, but I'm not sure if they're the same rates, because we've seen over the past week that the rates for Tasas have increased with the Roof Maqead areas, Dread enemies, and Gigantics enemies, so maybe in this combat zone they will be increased as well, but I can't say for sure. For a couple of miscellaneous things, we have a new Mission Pass Season 25, which just has the usual fanfare inside of a few new cosmetics and some useful items. Then we have new build parts for the creative spaces based off of classic PSO2 items. Looks like this time it's some school ones. But then we have a new collab with Spriggan. This is based off the anime that came out recently, but that is based off a 90s comics. That's quite a while ago. For NGS, we have a limited time login bonus where you get some star gems, but also life-size cutouts of some characters from that anime for build parts. Then also with this, we get an AC scratch ticket. This has outfits from both Yu Amane and Jean Jacquemonde. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but these two characters. And then a whole bunch of weapon camos based off their weapons and different emotes and stickers and stamps, a whole bunch of different stuff just all over the place. But do keep in mind that there are some filler items from previous NGS scratches in this lineup. That's all the main content for this week, but for some campaigns going on, there's an AC purchase campaign. So in between these two dates, if you buy up to 12,000 AC, you can get some extra boosters, Arms Refiner 2s, as well as this SG Legacy Coordination Badge for hair. There's a premium user PSO2 day, so that's the per usual on the 21st to the 23rd. You get some extra bonuses if you are a premium user. And then also there's this remix login gift. That's another music disc and a build part poster that you just get by logging in and claiming it. And then for the last thing, there's some price changes in some regions, I believe for like the AC and whatever other packs that they have. So for Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, Colombia, South Africa, and Argentina, you might see a price bump or maybe even a lower. They don't really specify here, but if you're in those areas, just be aware of that. That is everything that I have for you guys today. I am curious to know what you guys feel on these past couple of weeks, because from what I've seen, it has been a mixed bag. But let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.